How about your panic attacks?
Well, back in 1987, I was gunshot 5 times, and as a result of that, I've had post-traumatic stress syndrome. Adding to that, I had since about the 1990s as well, problems with malaria. I have the worst type of malaria you can have. I have that. So the two of them combined with the post-traumatic stress syndrome and the malaria has created these panic attacks. And what was really happening, I would just get this sensation and just wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning. I mean, I would wake up in the morning, I know what time it is, it's 2 o'clock. I look over the clock, 2 a.m. So I was at a loss. I was like, I've had this problem for a long, long time. I've been to hospitals, I've had CAT scans, I've had everything you can do, and they're like, we can't find anything wrong. It's some kind of, post-traumatic stress syndrome. But the way it was affecting me, it was like, it didn't seem right. I was like, yeah, I understand post-traumatic stress syndrome, but not with me. I just didn't buy it that, I'd have these uncontrollable fits. Heart racing, blood pressure going skyrocketing. I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to die. And, I'm this guy that's been living in this jungle for half of my life. And, and I'm having like it seemed like I was possessed by demons. But it seems what's going on now with the oil, I mean, I won't lie. I went to a doctor and I was talking to him about these symptoms I was having. And when I started talking about waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning, he was like, what? I said, yeah, I just wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning. I look over, it's 2 o'clock, like I knew it was going to be. And then immediately, as soon as I'm awake, within 30 seconds, I feel like this wave and the heart takes off and the blood pressure rises and there we go, full-blown panic attack. But the doctor, his name is Dr. Campo, his opinion was, I don't believe it's so much this post-traumatic stress syndrome with the gunshot thing. Have you had malaria? I said, hell yeah, I've had malaria back in 1990. He goes, that's what it is. Because the malaria mimics all these other post-traumatic stress syndrome symptoms, almost identical. It's a mirror. So I was like, okay, then what do I do now? Because I don't want to be taking chemicals for the rest of my life. Now this is where the oil steps in a second. First, I got on the internet and I said, okay, if I need something to treat the liver, I want something natural. I found that cinnamon, honey oil, regular oil, bee oil from bees, and black pepper, works. So I started taking that, and it seemed like it relieved the symptoms to a bit. But around the same time, I started taking the oil. Actually, this is going back starting in May before Rick got here. And I have to say now, immediately taking the oil, I slept. I haven't slept that well in a long time. Because, again, what happens when you have these panic attacks in the middle of the night, it's kind of like it creates trauma. Apart from post-traumatic stress syndrome trauma. It's like you have a couple of traumas going because you're afraid that you're going to get a panic attack. And you try to go to sleep and you feel a little something and you get a little antsy. And it just sets a chain reaction off. But I immediately found taking the oil, what happens, I definitely went to sleep. The best sleep I've had in a long time. Haven't had any of those little heebie-jeebies, we call them, like the sensations I'm going to have a panic attack, they're gone. I haven't been taking any of the cinnamon and bee oil, honey oil, and black pepper mix. That's long gone. I don't take that anymore. Just taking the oil. But it's had a phenomenal change taking the oil as far as affecting the post-traumatic stress syndrome, as far as controlling the effects from the malaria. Because those nights wake up looking up at 2 o'clock in the morning at a clock, they're gone. That's gone. Don't have to do that anymore. And it was very interesting because when I started researching the oil, they started talking about that they've been using oil to treat war veterans soldiers coming back from fighting in Iraq or Afghanistan, and that the oil is also helping in a huge way post-traumatic stress syndrome victims. So yes, it does work as far as that. So again, thanks guys.